Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Curious Investor Podcast. We just finished recording a great episode with Connor Abel. He's an ex-Marine, he's an insurance broker, a land flipper, and he runs an e-commerce business with his wife.
Yeah, there are many takeaways from this show. One being surrounding yourself with like-minded people and people way ahead of you. If it means getting a mentor, joining meetups, or joining a mastermind, it's super important to have that next step ahead of you. And I feel like surrounding yourself with people who are at that level, it's like a magnetizing factor, which is something that Connor talked about. It's like so powerful. And I see it even in my growth. Just joining, having multiple mentors and joining a mastermind, that's really pushed us to exceed what average is. So yeah, it goes back to that saying that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you spend your time with average, you're going to be in that realm for quite a bit of time. But if you spend your time with wealthy or successful people, the tendency is you will get to that level or close to it, because whatever environment you're around, you kind of absorb and you adapt to that. Do you have any thoughts on that, Paulino?
Yeah, I was actually like I see if like with you, like you joined the mastermind for short-term rentals, like you saw almost immediate growth, right? Like what's like talk a little bit about that, like real quick.
Yeah, so I mentioned it on the podcast, but I guess a little bit deeper is every year at the end of the year, last day of the year, I sit down with my wife and we talk about just our goals, yearly goals, and then midterm goals and long-term goals. And one that we had as a 5-year goal I think 3 or 4 years back, was to own a short-term rental. And we got to a point where last December, when we sat down to review our goals, it was year 3, and we still haven't took any strides to purchase a short-term rental. And so we were like, okay, we have 2 years left. How are we going to do this? Like we have to dedicate this year to getting one. And so we know that people always talked about joining a mastermind. That's how you fast track your way to success. And so I just found a mastermind that I resonated with and joined it. And in 4 months, we were able to, I believe it was 4 months. About 4 months, we were able to close on a short-term rental deal and sign an agreement with an investor to manage their property for a fee. And so like there was no way we would be able to do that without being a part of a group that was greater than just my day-to-day life,
Yeah, it would just take so much longer for you to get to the same point. Like it's just like a fast tracker, I'm noticing. But yeah, like that's so sick. Like one thing that I took out of the episode with Connor was that like he was describing an acronym that is called wealth, and one of the acronyms for the letter A was called affluence. There you go. And it was like really like part of the point of the acronym was that you have to make sure you time block at least like 15 to 30 minutes a day towards your business endeavors and your entrepreneurship endeavors. This could be real estate. This could be towards like a side hustle. It could be something that you think can make money in the long term. Like you're putting in the work now for your long-term wealth building. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Like imagine you're doing work 15 to 30 minutes a single day. It's not that much time out of your day, so that how far you're going to be from that time on, like here in 4 months, or from that time on in a year. Like you're going to be so much more ahead of someone that's not doing that, or way ahead of where you were before you even did that. So of course it's going to push you forward. I think that's a very valuable lesson. That's something that I'm trying to implement towards my growth. And we'll provide updates as we move along with the podcast. But that's something that I took out of it, and like from this podcast, and out of many things that Connor said. So yeah, this was a really good one. So if you got any value from this episode, please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to our YouTube. Make sure to leave a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And also, if you know any friends or family that would find value from our podcast, make sure you share it with them. Word of mouth is the best way to help grow and support our show. So, but yeah, let's just get to it. Let's enjoy the podcast with Connor Abel. welcome back to the Curious Investor Podcast. My name is Paulino Marquez, and I'm joined here by my co-host Philip Costa. Today we have a really exciting interview. Today we are with Connor Abel. Welcome, Connor. How you doing?
Good, good. It's an honor to be here. Appreciate you guys having me on the show.
No, awesome. Yeah. So, real quick, to begin, I wanted to see if you can tell us a little bit about yourself and give us a little bit of background about what you're doing and a little bit about your investment journey so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, my name's Connor Abel. I'm kind of in the middle of three different endeavors right now. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, but I'm an insurance broker. I do health, life, Medicare. Mainly specialize in Medicare because it builds up a good residual base of income. It's money that doesn't really pay well, like straight up, but long term, you can build up a good book of business that pays you monthly.
Nice.
And then I am kind of going into e-commerce as well, doing close to six figures with the e-commerce deal. It's basically like an affiliate link e-commerce model. So we just sell manufacturer to company or to customer products, and people click on our links, and then we make commission based off of that. And then now, me and my wife are taking on land investing. So basically, we just buy at a deep discount, 55 to 65% discount, and then flip it to people in that area.
Yeah, so the e-commerce business is something that's kind of interesting to me. So like what is something that you like how did you get started in that industry or that side of like money making?
Honestly, my wife kind of took the head on this. She just kind of saw the opportunity and saw kind of like an opportunity in the market. And basically, it's like health and wellness product, just one of those reoccurring products that's easy to kind of emulate. And there's like a niche product with collagen right now, and we kind of saw that as an opportunity to run with. So she just kind of built up all the links around this model, and just I call it luck, but we've just kind of been hitting it. We built out a really good community who enjoy the products, and it's been a good ride so far.
So that's really cool. So how are you able to drive traffic to this product? You said that you built a community. How are you able to do that?
So okay, well, I lived in California whenever I was in the Marine Corps, and when when we were out there, my wife and I didn't have a lot of community because we lived in Oklahoma our whole lives. And while we were out there, we realized the importance of community. And when we got back to Oklahoma, we said when I got out, we were going to go all into just meeting new people, building relationships, and it just kind of translated to business. This opportunity came up after we had been building new relationships with people for like about a year and a half, and all of that momentum built up, and the business opportunity came up at the same time, and it just kind of collided to create a pretty good stream of income for us.
Okay, so are you using any online strategies to drive customers to your products?
Honestly, a lot of this has been organic growth through just building that relationships over the past year and a half. We have been implementing growth in our social media. Um, I went to a few masterminds this past year, and I've realized the importance of social media and how views and attention are the new currency. So we've really been pushing that hard. My wife has focused a lot on building hers, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon and give it a go. So yeah, that's really just building funnels out to these links. Russell Brunson was a good resource for me. I'm just kind of learning ClickFunnels and whatnot. Still learning that a little bit, but there's been some pretty good conversion so far.
Social media game is another animal. Like
Oh my God.
it's such a good way to gain like access to eyes and customers and like funneling in. I see a lot of entrepreneurs using that as a way to build their income. So it's like it's something that we're trying to learn, me and Phil, and I think that
Yeah.
it's there's a wide open opportunity because it's like a lot of people do it, but it's something that like there's still such a wide open market to like the social media marketing, and also like affiliate links and like e-commerce businesses are so it's such a good opportunity. Digital products, so much.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you're leaving money on the table if you're not doing social media. I feel like, and that's what changed the perspective of me because I'm like, oh, it's really selfish. It's like self-centered, but really, you just give value to people, just and just golden nuggets, drop them every day. In return, you're gonna create impact, and impact creates wealth. So it all
Awesome.
kind of translates.
Yeah, so I also one thing that like you touched on it a little bit when you were explaining about when you were trying to build a community coming from California to Oklahoma. You said that you were in the Marine Corps. So can you talk a little bit about your experience there and like how you got started, like why you decided to go to the Marines, and like what why you got out? Like what is something that or why you like what when you got out and all that stuff?
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I had so many plans for my life. Like I wanted to do this and that and this and that, and I just got roped up in all these different ideas. And um, basically, I came to the point in my life where I'm like, okay, I just need a. Me and my cousin had just started an escape room business. It's like an entertainment, like you
Hmm.
hide the locks and puzzles and all the things.
I love
And
escape
we,
rooms.
they're
Yeah,
pretty sweet. You haven't
yeah,
tried
yeah,
it. What I told you guys have a free
yeah,
game, but
yeah.
is 2015 we started that. That's the same year I entered the Marine Corps, and I just decided like I need to stop making these plans for myself. I need to put myself in a position to where I have to rely on God. That's where kind of like my faith kind of came into the whole equation. I was just kind of money driven, like focusing on the next thing, and I'm like, I need to put myself in a place where God's going to take control. He's going to take control of the plan. So I joined the Marine Corps Infantry, the most, dangerous thing I could think of, and just wanted to have him kind of, take the reins and take control away from myself. So yeah, he was in control.
How was that transition from like normal life, like before the Marine Corps, to going into that structured life? Like, what was that like?
Gosh, I think before that, I jumped from job to job to learn knowledge. So, I jumped into like a sales position to learn sales. I jumped into construction to, learn how to build things. Just because whenever I had a family, I knew that that's just kind of what it was going to be like. Oh, hey, baby. This is what it's like when you're working from home. But
Yeah, for sure.
so, um, yeah, I mean, the construction side. So yeah, I did construction, and then I wanted to start a business, so we built out that escape room as well. And I mean, we're talking right now, okay? Can you say hi?
Hi. Wait, what's her name?
This is Stevie. This is my oldest. Yeah.
Another special guest.
Yes, I'm going to church.
Nice.
But sorry, I lost my train of thought.
You were
Oh,
working in construction to to help your family because you knew that was going to be a part of your future.
Yeah, baby, we're Stevie Abel.
so like leading up to the Marines, you were saying you were talking about how like you were trying to learn like gain knowledge by doing a lot of different jobs, and like and
Yeah, yeah.
how did that lead you to the Marines?
So yeah, basically, I just like I needed something to kind of keep me structured and disciplined into one track. So, I'm contractually obligated to, stick out for 4 years into one thing.
Hmm.
And I think really what that helped me do is hyper focus on one avenue. Because before I was like, I wanted to do the escape room. I wanted to, build out a different business for this and that. So from here on, I'm like now focused in on one thing. I did insurance. I got really good at that, built up a good book of business, and now I'm moving to the next thing. Whereas before I was doing too many things, and they always say like put all your eggs or diversify, diversify, diversify. I really
Hmm.
think you need to put your eggs in one basket, build it out a good stream, and then you can kind of move to the next thing. And yeah, I kind of fell into that myth early on to where you can do everything at once, diversify, and but I think that slows you down.
I hear
So
you.
the Marine Corps kind of helped me hone that one track mind focus so that I could move to the next thing.
Okay, and then at this time, were you able to save money while you're out there or generate
I didn't
money
spend
of
it.
some sort?
I didn't spend a dime. I literally everything I made, I I try to ration anything. I would eat leftover food from everybody. Like I would save every nickel and dime because I knew whenever I got out, it was my opportunity to really, start pursuing entrepreneurship on the scale that I wanted to.
Okay,
And
great. And
yeah.
so when you did leave, what was the first decision you made, either with that money or in your life?
So the first one was, I had to get a W-2 so that I could get a home. So
Yeah.
I worked in the bank for a little bit and learned banking for a while. Got our house. After we got our house, I left and started insurance right away and started building up that book of business. And my whole goal behind all this in the first place was to get into real estate, just because it's long term wealth.
Okay.
And I kind of got aligned with Ryan Pineda, who's a big real estate tycoon in the space, and he's kind of helped mentor that little idea into fruition. So now I'm in land flipping now, and we're able to build that out and put a lot more money into it and get things started the right way.
Okay.
Very cool. Yeah, so I wanted to ask you about that as well. So like what kind of projects are you working on? Like how like what was like your first land acquisition? Like is it real estate? Like properties? Is it like are you developing or like what is exactly that you're doing with land flipping?
So we're not developing quite yet. We're going to scale to that. We're going through the process right now, but essentially the way we're and there's 100 different ways to do this. There it goes from like tax liens to where you can get paid uh, monthly financing,
Yeah.
like smaller deals, to like the development side, like you're talking about. We're kind of in the middle spectrum of that, where we're just sending out, thousands of offers a week, and we're like I said, we're buying them at a deep discount and then just flipping them at market value. And these are people that just really want cash for the deal. It's like wholesaling a house basically, but with less work, I think. So the way we're doing it right now is we're going to try to send out about 5,000 a month, 5,000 offers. Within that 5,000 offers, we'll probably get 3 to 5 deals. Each deal will net a minimum of 20,000 per deal, and we'll just keep rolling that on into the business. And the people we're being mentored from right now are on track to make anywhere from 1.5 to 2 million this year, and they started 2 years ago.
Wow.
And so that kind of perked my ears up when they said that, and I was like, okay, we need to learn from you. And so that's who's kind of bringing us through the process right now. But yeah.
How are you guys sourcing deals? Like what exactly and how are you generating so many offers?
Okay, so there's a website called Price that we're going through that helps us collect all the data, and basically we're just finding areas that people are moving to. Usually southern states are best.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, once we have all that data collected, we uh, push it into the county assessors uh, websites, and we start breaking down the actual like deals for that data
Mm-hmm.
and do all the due diligence and see if that land makes sense, if it's like landlocked or if it has road access, if it have water, utilities, things of that nature. And if it all checks out, we go through a company called Rocket Print, and basically they outsource all the mailing. So from there, you can you push them all the data, you send them all the letter templates, and then they fill it all out for you. So that's how we're able to do so much volume in such a short amount of time, to be able
That's
to send out
interesting.
like 1,000 a week or so.
And so how are you analyzing all these deals? Like you just get whatever market value is and then decrease it by a certain percentage and then that's the offer you submit, or how are you curating these offers?
So we try to get comps to the best that we can. Usually we can pull up like 3 to 4 comps in each zip code, based on acreage sizes and what's around the area as well. And then do they have water? Do they have electricity? Everything's kind of factored in with the due diligence. Um, but that usually helps us hone in the price. And then that price website does a really good job at kind of giving you an initial idea of what it's going to be like. And then you have to go back through each one and make sure that it checks out, that the comps make sense with what price gave you.
And so how are you sifting through this? are you automating this, or you're actually going through all 5,000 offers a month?
Right now, we're going through all 5,000 offers to really make sure that we know the ins and outs so that we can communicate to VAs later on once we automate the process. But yeah, as of right now, we're doing everything from top to bottom. We're
That's
scrubbing
wild.
the data, we're cleaning it up, and we're sending it out through the mails and everything. Yeah.
Putting
That's
in the midnight
crazy.
oil.
That's
Oh yeah. Oh
crazy.
yeah. Burning the grind. Once the
We
kids are down, I'm going back to work.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so so adding more to that, because I think that this kind of like is part of like all your investment like kind of like journey and experiences led you to what I think is the wealthy way. So like, can you like speak a little bit on that? Because I see that you do talk about it quite often in your social media, and I wanted
Yeah.
to and I wanted to like hear from you like what exactly is that for the audience, and like what how do you use that as a way to improve your finances?
Um, I think if you just like solely focus on wealth, everything kind of crumbles. You start to lose different aspects like health or family relationships. Um, the education aspect of things, like you're not constantly learning and improving. And I feel like if you're not growing in all aspects of life, you're capping yourself at how much impact and how much wealth you can actually build in the financial sector of life as well. So Ryan Pineda created I guess a way of life, a way of living. It's called the Wealthy Way. The acronym is broken down in wealth. So it's worship, education, affluence, lifestyle, team, and health. So worship is just your faith. So you can pray and meditate on the daily. It just kind of gets your mind set for the day. And then education is just making sure that you're personally developing yourself through podcasts like this one
Hmm.
and, just good books of people who've succeeded before you. And then affluence is just working on one stream of income at least 30 minutes a day or more, just to kind of continue to move the needle. I think a lot of people, don't succeed because they don't take action or they get stuck on the like research phase. So Affluence is designed to make sure that you're at least pushing the needle um, through the steps that actually move the business forward and aren't just like the background stuff like Excel documents and whatever. Lifestyle is just your dreams and goals. It's basically just focusing, reverse engineering your life. So figuring out
Yeah.
where you want to end, and then reverse engineering the steps to get to that end marker. And then the team is relationships. So building relationships with your family, friends, reigniting old relationships that should be sparked, or just continuing to build new communities and relationships where you're at as well. And then health. If you're dead, then you can't do anything. So
Yeah.
gotta make sure you're eating and taking care of your body. Plus, you have more focus and more mental, clarity. So
The A is like the A is the part like affluence, like when you were describing it, I found it to be like super like relatable, because like part of my struggle, because this is like the like it kind of, if you didn't know, like part of our dynamic here on the podcast is that Phil, like we try to explain this so that the audience kind of understands, like I'm coming from somewhere that I haven't, like we really want to get into real estate, but I haven't started my process. I'm only in the analysis phase. And
yeah,
Phil has started with he already has his own investment property and
all
and
right,
short-term rental. So we're like entry level to like already beginner slash intermediate to fill size. So like I'm like just trying to gather, and he's trying to gather even more. So that's like how we're doing it here. So like the A is interesting because like dedicating the time to actually building a business that you want to do, like just
yeah,
30 minutes makes a big difference.
100%. It does. I think people underestimate, like, what's that saying? Like, you underestimate what you can do in a year, but
Yeah.
overestimate what you can do in a day.
Oh yeah. Again,
So,
like time blocking that, like make sure you do that time. Like I'm learning Phil does that very well. Like he has grown a lot within the last year, doing this, and I use him as an example. So I'm trying to push that way as well. But yeah, I agree with like that the whole acronym kind of makes sense to me.
yeah, yeah. It's a good way to just balance everything because, yeah, if you're going in all, yeah, again, if you're going in all aspects, it all correlates. So
Yeah.
it creates impact, impact creates wealth.
And it gives you a framework of creating discipline in your life, or just like it just gives you a framework to follow. You know, a lot of times we're just bouncing around, we don't know what to do, but if you just give someone a system to follow, okay, you're going to get 1% better every single day by following that system. Just keep hitting at that system and you're just going to get better. And so, yeah, it talks a lot about the discipline that's involved in having a system like that.
How do you balance that? How do you find balance?
Um, I think time blocking really helps. Me and my wife try to revisit our schedule pretty frequently just to make sure that we're setting time for family, we're setting time for our faith, we're setting time for all the acronyms I mentioned, and just making sure that we move the needle at least a little bit in every area of our life once a day. And it's that compound effect. You can multiply so much on the daily, as well as positive, the same as negative. If you eat crap, you're gonna get fat. If you work out, you're gonna get fit. But it's gonna happen over the course of a year, not like every day. So you just have to keep at doing those daily tasks, the things that nobody wants to do, the boring stuff, and
For sure.
yeah, it brings you there.
All right. Yeah, I wanted to move on to talk about an NFT project you've talked about a little bit. Yeah, can you just give us a background of what that is and explain the model to that NFT project?
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys haven't been able to tell yet, I'm kind of aligned with Ryan Pineda. He
Hmm.
he seems to be attracting a lot of successful people to him, and I think the law of attraction kind of plays out in that area. But he started a project called Tykes, stands for Digital Tycoons. It's essentially his vision is to pioneer the digital real estate space and connect the bridge between the metaverse and real estate. And the idea behind it is, I guess the biggest value you get out of it is the community, the people who are going to be participating in this Tykes metaverse. But I guess some of the other utilities you can get from it is their idea is if you own a Tyke, you can stake it, and by staking it, you get a yield called Tycoin. This Tycoin can be used to purchase, mastermind events. Basically, it's his own like little ecosystem, trainings, time with Ryan, and then also, yeah, it's basically doubled as a timeshare.
Yeah.
So he's purchasing, properties all over the world, and you'll have the ability to stay at these exclusive vacation homes
Mm.
through using this Tycoin. It's sort of like a timeshare slash Airbnb, and he's opening it up to other people who own pretty luxurious Airbnbs as well to exchange that for Tycoin. So that's kind of the model that he's going with right now. But yeah, it's been a really cool. That's actually where I learned land flipping, is through the
Yeah.
Tykes community. So yeah.
When did you why did you like align yourself with Ryan Pineda, and like how like what benefit have you gotten from it? Because like essentially it's like what you said is trying to get together with like-minded people, right?
That's kind of where it started. I took a shot in the dark. It's funny you're talking about NFTs. I bought all of his domains through Ethereum. So there's the .com and then there's the .eth.
Yeah.
So it was like Google.eth or there's Google.com.
Okay.
I bought all of his domains in the Ethereum domain and I sold them back to him. And
That's so interesting.
somehow he read the message and he's like, "Yeah, okay, let's do this." So we talked back and forth for a while, and at the same time, Wealthy Way was just being launched, and I loved the idea of it because it already aligned with the things that I was doing, and so I started to participate in this community, learned a lot from those people, and was just really excited about the vision where it was going. Ryan saw that, he was excited. He's like, "Hey, I want you to be a moderator," and so I became a moderator for the Wealthy Way, and he basically gave us access to go to his mastermind at no cost. And I was like, that's a
Wow.
no-brainer. And then everything just kind of transpired and started rolling from there. Um, the Wealthy Way kind of gave me the bridge to go to the Tykes and become a moderator for the Tykes as well. And yeah, one thing led to the next, and just being around those people has allowed me to be in this position where I can, do what I'm doing right now. So,
That's
did
so
that
sick.
answer your question?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like
Yes.
you did like it's so funny that like you just like you took a shot in the dark. You decided to do something that was kind of like out there, like you're gonna buy domains, and like just because you saw like a potential for like a future like in this space, like because of course like things are leading that way, and digital real estate is very interesting because like before it was something that like people made fun of, but now it's like actually something that's like real, and like there's value in there, and there's value in that metaverse kind of thing. People are trying to create experiences in the digital world, but bringing it into real world, like with the timeshare, like being able to benefit by going to these places that people have, like beautiful places. So it's real. It's weird how like the digital world is coming together with the real world.
It
It's
really
the
is.
future is weird, man. The future is weird, but it's coming. Yeah. So yeah, well, like one segment that we do in our podcast is that we at the end of every podcast we try to do one personal, one professional question, and one random question that we end the podcast with. So Phil, if you don't mind starting out with the first one.
Yeah. So the personal question is, what habit or trait are you currently working on?
I think the one that I always end up coming back to is time management, time blocks. Um, it translates or it kind of correlates with the wealthy way. It constantly has you like tracking yourself, but yeah, probably like time management. We literally just my wife and I literally just sat down like yesterday for this next coming month and just kind of wrote out like Monday through Sunday and what that's gonna look like hour by hour. So yeah, I guess just trying to hone that in and making sure that I'm saying no to things to allow opportunities for bigger things.
And do you guys like get together like on a weekly basis to schedule your weeks?
Usually it's a month to month basis, but if something comes up into our attention, we'll sit down and kind of reevaluate if we need to. But usually we'll do like a fine focus on the month to month, but on the weekly, if something big comes up, we'll have to reevaluate for that week.
And even adding to that, like one thing I've noticed, like we've done a few interviews already. We've got a couple that we've done with several different people. One thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people tend to do their like have their whole investment entrepreneurship journey together with a spouse or a girlfriend or like together with their significant other. Like what? How did you feel? How do you see that? Like how did you get started with that? How did you convince her to come along the journey? Like how did that come about?
Yeah, well, the reason I married her is because she's just like passionate and she's extremely good looking, and um, that passion just kind of like I don't know. I just love passion. You know what I mean? It's just it gets me. It wakes me up in the morning, and I just love waking up next to her. She's excited. She has vision, and I think we just love dreaming together. Like our favorite thing to do on our date nights is literally just talk about what life's gonna look like next year or like a few months from now. Um, yeah, she's always looking for the next thing. I'm always looking for the next thing, and we just like to go into the adventure together.
That's
Yeah, that
cool.
visualization is super important.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. So the next question is the professional question. Where do you see yourself professionally in the next 5 to 10 years?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good question.
Hmm.
I used to have like, an exact answer for these questions. Now it's like almost more of like a month to month basis. I feel like, things are constantly like pivoting and adapting. I feel like, as entrepreneurs, like it's really hard to like lock yourself into like, what 5 years from now is gonna look like. But I guess with what I'm doing right now, if I had to like paint a pretty picture about it, I'd like to be doing like, I don't know, I like to do about 5 million in just the land flipping alone a year, I think, and then also build out a good Airbnb portfolio as well, just to kind of mitigate some debts or mitigate taxes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think building that out and then seeing where e-commerce goes and figuring out how to navigate the whole metaverse NFT space as well. I think there's going to be something big with that over the next decade or so.
So interesting. Phil, you got the random one?
Last one, the random one. What have you tried lately that is new and exciting? It doesn't have to be lately, it could be like in the past year, but what is something new that you've tried that either challenged you or excited you?
Honestly, just going to those mastermind, I didn't realize like how big of a shortcut it is to go to these like events where people are just better than you and like smarter than you, and like at least in one area or another, there's people that are just like 100 times ahead of where you're at. It almost gives you like a conviction to where you have to like level up. Because the first one I went to, I was like, okay, yeah, this is cool. I know the next steps I have to do. The second one I went to, I was like, I haven't done anything yet. I need to get things moving, and that really kicked me into gear. So now land flipping is like full scale. We're going all in and like dropping some good money into it. So yeah, I think
Nice.
masterminds and like just seeking mentorship for the thing that you're trying to pursue, it gets you there so much faster. Wish I would have known that earlier.
Yeah, Phil, like you joined the mastermind yourself as well. Like what do you like? Do you agree with that?
For sure. I joined a short-term rental mastermind, and so we've been thinking about buying short-term rentals since like 2020, but never really pulled the trigger. It was actually 2019, but we actually started looking in 2020. And then this year we just decided we have to go all in, and so we joined this mastermind, and in like 4 months we had one under contract, and on the same day we had a co-host deal signed. So co-hosting is basically we help a family or investor manage a proper Airbnb property for them at a fee. So just in like 4 months we were able to just get those two deals done because of the mastermind. So
Nice.
super powerful.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's exciting. Moving the needle.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And like even like not even to that extent, because I'm like 2 years behind, like, or 2 or 3 years behind Phil with the startup. Like going to real estate events is something that we've been doing together for like last half year. We've gone to 2 within the last few months. What a change in like mentality. Talking to people that have actually done it is just such a different thing. Like Phil has already communicated with somebody within the meeting that we went to a couple weeks ago, and they're already talking about possibly doing business together. It's just like insane what you can do by just joining a community.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's the fast track. It's the fast track of life. Like that's the shortcut. If people need cheat codes, like find mentorship. That's it.
I know it's people, but it doesn't seem to be mainstream at all. Like I think people don't see that there's an opportunity right there. Like and everyone's welcome.
I don't get, they'll pay $100,000 for a 4-year tuition where they're not getting paid the whole time, but they won't spend $3,000 for like some mastermind class that will pay them 6 figures a year the following year. Like,
yeah, I just think like for some reason there's like a bad stigma to doing online courses, like it's or like online mentorship, or like actually like because you might think that you're gonna lose the money, you might think that you're gonna get scammed joining these masterminds, but there's evidence all over the place that suggests that people make money off this stuff. There should be like a mastermind, like a certain mastermind kind of poll that shows like
authenticator, like
and also like starting like the salaries that people make or like the income people make after the years. That would be very persuasive in getting people to join and be involved.
That's true. I just call it a university and then part of it.
yeah, exactly. Change up the game. But yeah, man. Is there Phil? Do you have any other questions you want to ask Connor?
No. I just want to say thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us.
Appreciate you guys' time. It was a true pleasure getting to talk to you guys. We'll have to stay and connect and kind of keep cheering each other on.
Yeah. For sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely be in touch. Maybe like later on, we'll have you back on and like with any updates, like see what's going on.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I love that. Hell yeah. All right, Connor. Thank you so much, and have a good one. Take care, guys.
Appreciate it, guys. You too.
Yeah. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. If you like the show, please leave us a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that like button, leave us a comment, and subscribe to our channel. You can also follow us on Instagram at CuriousInvestFI. All this helps support our podcast.
Ciao!
Ciao!